We got a major report to talk about in this video. According to ESPN, they just released an interesting nugget about everything you need to know about the New York Jets and running back Breece Hall ahead of the trade deadline. As you guys know, the New York Jets will not be playing another football game before the trade deadline. They are now at their bye week at a 1-7 record after getting their first victory of the season over the Cincinnati Bengals. The vibes are high in Jets Nation after getting their first win. I know it's not as high as we'd liked. We wish we were a little bit better than 1-7, obviously, but since the New York Jets have such a bad record, there is a lot of players that could be traded away from this Jets organization, or maybe the New York Jets decide to keep some of these guys for the long haul to build around for the 2026 season and beyond. So there's a lot that I want to break down in this video. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Comment down below your thoughts about the report that we're about to get into. I'm going to leave the link in the description for you guys if you want to check it out for yourselves. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So as you all know, Breece Hall just is coming off his breakout game, finally getting in the end zone. I mean, I've been a little critical of Breece this season, and it's not just about Breece Hall individually. It was also about the usage of Breece Hall from Tanner Engstrand and the New York Jets offense. Why are we not giving him the volume he deserves? And we finally did that. Without Garrett Wilson healthy, the Jets need to feature Breece Hall. And that's exactly what they did against the Bengals. About time. I mean, their first game without Garrett Wilson 2 weeks ago against Carolina, Breece did not even get a target in the pass game, barely got the touches. The offense was a mess around him. The offensive line did not play great. The Jets had a quarterback's change in the first half. The second half was a giant mess. But against the Bengals, you saw the Jets finally use Breece Hall properly. Give him 18 carries, give him targets in the passing game, and even calling a trick play, utilizing that arm talent. I see you, Breece. This is what Breece Hall can do when you absolutely give him the volume that he deserves, and you give him the blocking as well. So this is a guy that a lot of Jets fans have been excited about since he was a Jet, of course, when we drafted him out of Iowa State in the second round. The first 6-7 games of his rookie season, which was off the chart. And then, unfortunately, as we all know, he tore his ACL in his rookie season. And then in year number 2, he was a little slow. And then last year, he did okay, but the entire team was a mess. And then this season, it's been a slow burn for Breece in the entire running game. They're a great one game and then not good the other. And if the Aaron Glenn-led New York Jets identity is grit, running the football, being a smash-mouth offense, you got to keep Breece. I mean, he is the best player on this offense, especially with Garrett Wilson sideline, more specifically running the football. And if I'm the Jets, I consider keeping Breece Hall not just for the rest of this season, but beyond, giving him a contract extension, maybe a franchise tag if that's more in the realm of what Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji want to do. I would definitely consider keeping Breece Hall because we all know as Jets fans, if they get rid of Breece, whether at the trade deadline they trade him away or they let him walk in free agency, he's going to become a top 3, top 5 running back on another team. I'd rather keep Breece, keep building this offensive line, which we are seeing a very much improved offensive line. And obviously we have to see who the Jets bring in at quarterback in the offseason, because I think we can all agree the future at quarterback position is not on this roster. No offense to Justin Fields, but I do think that keeping Breece Hall long-term would be smart. So getting into the report of ESPN, this is interesting. According to Dan Graziano and Jeremy Fowler, what about Breece Hall? Could he get traded? So according to Graziano, he says, quote, "This one felt like a slam dunk for most of the season, but it has started to sound a little murkier over the past week. Hall is not under contract for next season, and the Jets have a pair of young running backs that they like in Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis, but Braylon Allen is out for the season with an injury, and there are multiple people in the Jets building who are leery of the idea of trading Breece Hall, who showed Sunday that he can be a dynamic threat and a key element of their offense. He ran for 133 yards and 2 scores, and he also threw a touchdown pass. The fact is, there's a price for almost everything, and if a team gives the Jets a strong enough offer for Hall, they would probably take it. But a couple of weeks ago, I would have expected them to deal Hall just to get something in return before he left as a free agent. Now, it feels more possible that they consider bringing Breece Hall back next season, in which case they might be more hesitant to trade him now. That's big. The Jets are on a bye week following their first win of the season, and they have a lot of decisions to make with teams interested in many of their players. This is a long way of saying Hall's chances of being dealt could go either way, but my sense is that it's no longer a sure thing. So this is some good stuff here from Dan Graziano of ESPN. What this basically tells us is that the Jets are not going to ship Breece Hall away for pennies, because the way that you got to look at this whole Breece Hall situation, in my opinion, is this. if the Jets look at Breece Hall as part of their long-term plans, they see him as their running back for the next 3+ years, you obviously don't trade him and you give him a contract extension, honestly, before he hits the open market, because you're taking a huge risk here. If you do not trade Breece and he plays the rest of the season and he plays really well, and then you wait for Breece to hit the open market, and then there's going to be a bidding war, and then the Jets could potentially lose out on Breece Hall, and then we let him walk for nothing, then the Jets are left with no Breece, and we did not trade him for anything. So basically, he walks out the door, the Jets get no draft picks. It's a very interesting spot the Jets are in, because they have to make their decision right now about Breece in terms of his future with this football team. It's not just about, do we want to have Breece for the rest of this season? Do the Jets want Breece to be part of this football team for the 2026 season and beyond? And I think that they would be pretty dumb to say no, because first of all, you're not replacing Breece Hall in the offseason. I mean, you can find running backs in the draft very easily, but not a talented running back like Breece Hall. You can't find that. And yes, I like Braylon Allen. I do like Isaiah Davis. They're both under contract for the next 2 years under cheap control. I really do think the Jets would be smart to keep Breece for the next few seasons by giving him an extension. He's only 24 years old, and he is in the prime of his career. And especially when you look at the philosophy that the Jets are trying to build here with this organization, which is a run-first offense. Not only can Breece Hall run the ball effectively, but he is a very good pass catcher out of the backfield. Now, another thing I want to mention, a lot of people are saying, yeah, I mean, it was one game that Breece Hall had that was good against the worst defense in the NFL with the Cincinnati Bengals. Breece has done nothing all throughout the first few games of the season. Now, on one hand, that is correct. But in my opinion, I think there's a lot of context that needs to be added here, right? Week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, we saw Breece run for over 100+ yards, and he was dynamic. And then for some reason, this Jets football team, they're just figuring themselves out in terms of how to block, in terms of offensive line, how to make the right play calls. And I think that Tanner Engstrand is slowly becoming an offensive coordinator that I'm becoming to trust. And I think that Breece is a guy from a talent perspective that you just can't replace. And I really do think that I'm 100% all in on building around Breece, giving him the contract so he can develop into a legit 3-down running back with this football team. As we talked about, he tore his ACL as a rookie, and he's been trying to get back to that explosive player. I don't think he has that game-wrecking, 50, 60+ yard breakaway speed anymore, which, I mean, if you give him space, he probably will. But you saw on that 25-yard touchdown run he had against the Bengals Sunday. You saw that his ability to have the vision, plant his feet in the ground, make people miss in the open field, just completely looking like a difference maker when given the opportunity. I think that the Jets have not given Breece Hall the proper opportunities throughout his season this year with the New York Jets, and we finally saw it. One thing about Breece that I love about his mentality is that he wants to put this team on his back. After the first game without Garrett Wilson against the Panthers, the Jets did not utilize him, and I still don't understand why they did that. Breece Hall, kudos to him. He said this in the press conference after the game or during the week or whatever it was. He went up to the coaches and basically was like, I want the ball 20 to 25 times. If there's no Garrett Wilson out there, I want to put this offense on my back, and if we lose, I want it to be on my shoulders. I want to go down swinging. If we're losing and this offense is not playing well and I get the ball 25 times, I want to be the reason why we lost. But I also want to be the reason why we win football games because he has that much confidence. And I think Breece is starving, bro. Breece Hall is starving for becoming a legit running back in this league. And I also got to give Breece a lot of credit. You also have to look at contracts and money from this lens. It's not just about who you are as a football player, but who are you off the field. I love his press conferences leading into the season where he basically said, I'm not looking for a contract extension because I haven't really proved myself yet, right? You saw James Cook get a contract in the summer. You saw Kyron Williams. You saw all these young running backs in his class get deals. And then Breece Hall was like, yeah, well, I don't really deserve a deal yet. I haven't really proved anything. So he's very self-aware. He doesn't really seem like that guy that's like, yeah, man, I want my money. I'm going to hold out and do all those types of things. He's a genuinely really good human being. He's humble, and that's a guy that I really think would fit the culture of this offense because this offense has a lot of potential. When you look at the pieces on the offensive line, Olu Fashanu, Armand Membu look really good in this last game against the Bengals and throughout the whole season. Joe Tippmann is becoming a legit right guard for this football team. And then at center and left guard, a little more up in the air in terms of the future because we don't know if those guys will be back next year. They are pending free agents. Meyer signed a 1-year contract. John Simpson is entering free agency in the offseason. Elijah Vera-Tucker, as we all know, he is done for this whole year. He's a free agent. Will the Jets bring him back next year? Who knows? Probably not. So I think that with the development of this offensive line getting better each and every week, with Mason Taylor being a rising tight end that we can be really excited about at that spot, with Garrett Wilson locked in for the next 5+ seasons, you need to keep Breece, man, because this is a guy that will absolutely change the whole dynamic of this offense as they are trying to develop their strategy of being a run-first, physical, gritty, punch-you-in-the-mouth type of offense. So that's my stance on the whole Breece Hall situation. I think this report is pretty awesome to hear from Dan Graziano. Hopefully, the Jets keep him. But another thing to note in that report is if there's a team out there that's very aggressive and they offer the Jets something they can't refuse, I could see the Jets trading Breece just from the standpoint if they get offered a second or a crazy draft pick. I don't really see a team out there being aggressive for Breece, but maybe there is, and that will be the only way the Jets will trade him away if they are offered a big-time package. But my overall perspective of this and prediction is Breece ain't going nowhere. But we shall see. Shout out to Sleeper for being the proud sponsor of Jets Media all season long. If you guys did not check them out by now, I don't know what you're waiting for. You guys can use my code JETS, and you get a $20 for free when you sign up. That's $20 free. No deposit needed. You download the app. You use my code. $20 immediately in your account. Terms and conditions apply. They also give you a 100% deposit match up to $100 if you did want to put some money in and win some cash on Sleeper. It's a really fun player prop tool. I've been having a lot of fun using the app. Make sure you guys check it out. Legal in 25 states and terms and conditions apply. Folks, if you stayed until the end of the video, comment down below a plain emoji. Love to see who's staying until the end of these videos. I'm out of here, folks. Really, really intrigued to see where this Jets team goes at the deadline. Hit that thumbs up button. Your boy's out of here. Peace out, and let's go Jets.